For today's cup of coffee, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. Yeah, there are things that I want to do, plan on doing, and the fibromyalgia goes, fuck you. Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, the multi-video filming night.
It just didn't happen. And it was one of those, had to go out and get a few more supplies. The quest for Pepsi Zero products has been ridiculous.
But you found it.
I did. It was almost like the Great Fresca famine of 2020.
Dear God, you couldn't find that anywhere. You really could not find Fresca anywhere.
They stopped. I don't know if it was some
production
kind of flavoring or whatever it was, but it went on for months. They did say that as far as the orange monsters, that is something. Yes, it's not just me. And again, I don't know why, because the other flavors of monsters, I guess it's just the popularity.
It's like crack. I
drink one of them a day because I can't afford to drink more than that a day. Because it's more added that takes away from coffee time.
Literally, she drinks one a day. From morning to night.
I sip.
Yeah, that's all you do. That's all you do. You sip from morning to night.
Well, yeah.
That's it.
No, actually, but now I don't.
One sip each time.
And I don't usually drink sodas, so I don't. How in the world? Maybe my body was low on aspartame or something with the.
Can your body be low on aspartame?
No.
That shit rots your brain, literally.
It does, but everything else does also. And so that's sort of kind of what we're going to do in lieu of the regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah. Baby.
Because the fibromyalgia, it doesn't just mess with your muscles. And in case people don't know what fibromyalgia is, it's basically arthritis of the connective and soft tissues. So it's not that just your joints hurt, the muscles hurt, the connective tissue hurts.
Damn, my whole body hurts.
Well, yeah, pretty much. And so that's just...
What kind of fuckery this is?
Right. And that there are actually millions of us that have this stuff. And it's not... You talk about a conspiracy. Now, oh shit, Judy Milkowicz, if you want to go back to her research, she was actually studying this stuff. She actually worked with Fauci. People will know.
Uh-huh.
And her research was stolen. I mean, it was shut down. It was stolen. She was actually imprisoned. No, I don't have reference on this, I
vaguely remember that.
But, and it's because part of this, I don't know if it's a matter of them not knowing what causes it. Mm-hmm. They think it's a retrovirus. I got chickenpox when I was 20. And, of course, in nursing and finals, because I have to do everything the hard-assed way. And after that, it just set it up. So I have existed with this longer than I was alive without it. There was a movie, and it's really hard to find this movie because I was going to send it to somebody. Mm-hmm. And it's called What About ME, or What About Me? And that's the clinical name for some of this stuff because it does affect your brain. And you can actually develop holes in your brain. So I'm adding, the aspartame just adds too.
Windows ME.
Yeah, really. Maybe. Maybe.
Millennium Edition.
Maybe. But it just screws up your whole world. And that there were people in this movie that they had been attorneys, they had been physicians, different things like this. And then to have everything stripped from you. And the hardest thing for me has always been when I make plans and goals, because I like to do that like most people do, It's like, oh, okay, we'll do this on this date, and that date comes, and I have to go, and I can't. Physically can't. And that is a very frustrating existence. So if you're somebody else out there that has the fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, ME, whatever the hell they're calling it today, you're not alone.
Nope.
And at some point we continue to search for, if it's not a cure, at least something that we can function. Right. That's the reason the Mobic has been very helpful. Quinine, as far as the tonic water with quinine, that can help calm a lot of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but at least I'm not like that lady that Sleazy P had, Sleazy P Martini had shown.
Crackheads.
Where the crackheads. Where that she had lip injections and became allergic to it.
My gosh, she looks like she's got a baboon's ass.
Absolutely, she really did. And then for her to put all this on TikTok, and I'm like, why would you do that?
Honey, your lips looks like a monkey's butt.
But they were saying she had to have something done to try to counteract this stuff. And so everybody was telling her she looked like Homer Simpson, and she really did.
It's the same when people get stung on the lips by bees.
And it's just like...
Shit just blows up.
And maybe that is a Leo thing. Why would you do that? Why would you want to put something out there for the world to see when you look your worst?
I mean, transparency, I guess.
Not everything needs to be shared.
It's a public platform, so everything's going to be shared.
I get that, but it's like the
internet is public.
Whether that is supposed to be, and it's there forever. Forever.
Yeah, all of it.
And that's, I am so grateful that we did not have internet when I was young.
Y'all would have got into some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all would have fucked up.
Well, but that was, see, that was the wonderful thing about that time. You could screw up like everybody does, and the world did not know it.
Yeah.
Because there's some things
and we need to go back to that.
Yes. Some things, leave your idiocy in private.
Yeah. If it happens in public, move out of town.
Oh, that, absolutely. Absolutely. If it is that bad, just move away, change your name, start over.
Yeah.
Especially if it involves the police.
Yeah.
That's
the
not
90s. You can skip to different states still.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a wonderful period of time. And that you could, it was okay to make mistakes.
Damn,
and
I wish
now
those times would still be here.
It's like people expect everybody to be without sin. I'm sorry, there was only one. Yeah. And that's crazy. Which, go ahead.
The internet is still relatively new anyway. I think it's still a relatively young thing in perspective.
Well, it is its own entity. It is a separate realm. I've discussed that with your oldest brother quite often.
Well, by our standards, because we only know the present and the past, it used to be a wild, wild west where anyone could say anything.
Right. And
now, where there are so many people using the internet now because it is a common thing,
right?
It's just, it's
digital
life
natives.
Now. Yeah, it's life now.
Yeah.
Everybody sees everything, and I guess because they think that they know something or whatever, and they can see it, that they can just go ham. Like, no consequences is going to happen, because it hasn't. Even though there are prime examples of that shit happening.
Right.
They don't care. Because consequences for actions are not that common over the internet.
Well, but in real life, there are still consequences.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's one of those, the consequences have just not been recognized yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you said a prime thing there as far as they just don't think.
No.
And I actually had been studying there for a while because Gemini, Moon in Gemini, about the difference
you
between...
You with the Moon in Gemini.
I am. The difference between digital natives, which are you all who grew up with this technology, and those of us who did not but can use the technology, we're considered digital immigrants.
Which doesn't make sense, but
Well, sure it does. I mean, that we have moved into this realm. It is not our native realm, where it is your all's. And as far as how that changes brain function, actual brain structure, neural pathways, as far as the ability to have forethought. And within that is that frontal lobe, that processes, if I do this can happen. That is, seriously, you have frontal lobe shrinkage, teen years to early 20s. I'm wondering if that does not cause some kind of delayed response through the, usage of technology, especially now they have proven as far as people's response time and their attention span, which has gotten ridiculously low.
Yeah.
Because it's that you all are a bunch of junkies. Honestly, that dopamine and stuff like that, and the serotonin, got to have the next hit, the next hit, the next hit.
Well, yeah, and that's because a lot of us have grew up with it.
Right.
So what else do we know?
Well, this is...
But I'm saying, like, what else do we know? Because we are so used to everything.
Right. But you can learn a different way, and it's just like where we, like many other people in the area and in the country, have had family members that have had drug addiction issues. And what happens with them is, if you say you've got a problem, what is the first response?
Solution.
No, denial. I don't have a problem. You're the one that has the problem. And
You're
the
right.
same thing happens with you guys. If I'm like, hey, put that down for a little while. Come in here. How many times do I have to fight you? Come in here and do this. And you will get distracted because, it's, one more video, one more TikTok, one more. And then it's hours later.
Or let me continue reading whatever it is, or something like that.
How often do you actually use the computer to read?
Not all reading is book literature. There's a lot of other things.
I sit here and I read on the computer. I do.
Yes.
Because
comments are reading.
Well,
tweets
that is,
are reading.
I mean, I actually do read. I've got 30-some pages printed out that proves. And it had to go through and edit the stuff. Yeah.
Looking at deconstructed graphs.
Well, yeah.
That's reading.
There
but
are
that's
so
also studying. Because
Sure.
I need to know.
Sure, and you can do that. And I'm not saying that the TikToks are a horrible, horrible thing. Most of them. But you've got some that are horrible, horrible things. And it's like, why does this even exist? I guess it's a lot of them. Maybe it's like peep shows of yesteryear, except you don't have to pay the quarter.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then that very well could be. Maybe TikTok is modern day freak show.
It's just a way for people to connect, and at its core, or at least that's what the people who use it for.
Some of it, I understand that, but it does not take the place of face-to-face interaction.
No, and it's not supposed to.
And that's one of
But they are designed to, like, the people who make the website, not the people who use it. The people who made TikTok made it so that it was as addicting as possible.
Absolutely.
That's what they do with YouTube as well, and
Right.
Twitter, any social media app.
And that's kind of horrifying.
And to cover TikTok's asses, they have this thing that comes on every so often that was like, hold on, you've been on here for way too long, or it's okay to take a break once in a while. Why don't you like go grab some water?
But they don't really
go
mean
grab
it.
some food. Mm-hmm.
But they don't really mean it, right?
Yeah, that's just to cover their asses.
Sure. I mean, it's just like a meth head. You know, it's like, hey, put down that pipe, put down that needle, do different things like that. Mm-hmm. Are they going to do it? No. Because they're already addicted. And that was just like, and like I said, some of this stuff, I did not get the references. You all can find your references today. That Facebook had admitted that they were doing psychological testing on people without their consent or their knowledge. Mm-hmm. That's unethical.
Yeah. Horribly
unethical. And as far as them being able to manipulate people's emotions even, that they would show them stories that they knew would make them respond in a certain way.
Yep.
That's kind of horrifying.
Yeah. That's evil.
It is.
That is evil.
It is. And that's sort of like we were going to discuss Michael Heiser's novel, The Facade. And there's a term for it, and I don't really remember the term, that it is fiction, but it also has fact in there. As far as the aliens and the different things, everything. And Heiser...
It's just a matter of digging to see which one is the truth and which one is not.
Oh, he's really good about putting references because he's an academic, and... You know, as far as the references, oh God, if you try to read some of his scholarly things, it's difficult because the way that they write scholarly things is stupid these days. It used to be that you had a footnote, you had a little number, you could go into the bottom of the page and that was okay. And if you didn't want to do that, I mean, it was there if you needed it or wanted it, but it didn't, you know, disrupt the flow of reading. Mm-hmm. The way that they're doing stuff now, hell, you can't get anything. It's sort of like the internet. If you can't get something into short-term memory, then it can't process into long-term memory. It's very difficult, and it doesn't have to be that cumbersome. And it seems like everything is so cumbersome today.
You're talking to someone who has had short-term memory issues from day one.
Yes, but part of that was the undiagnosed ADHD, which continues to be undiagnosed.
No, it's diagnosed. I'm just not medicated.
They will not give you medication for it. I don't know why. But that's part of the ADHD, is where the brain is going so rapidly that, and it's like trying to take in everything. There's no filter. Mm-hmm. And so when everything is hitting at once, it is very difficult to process. It does.
You like freeze up, and it's like,
sure.
Oh God.
Sure.
That's what happens to me sometimes.
And at least, you know, people are being diagnosed earlier with that. Now,
apparently ADHD is part of autism, which I don't know how.
I don't know. I think it's like some of these other things. They're wanting to put, this is all that exists. But it wouldn't surprise me with it being in that spectrum. Because and the reason they call it the autistic spectrum is because that there's a wide variety of symptoms. You know, and it depends on, you know, what degree. The folks with Asperger's, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I'm like Salty. I think it's a new superpower. I really do.
Does that mean we can go out and wear autistic badges or something like that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's...
They're like, we're autistic. Sorry.
No, they would just look at us and go, no, you're just assholes. Go to the house.
I mean, I can act it, but I'm not going to do that in case I get canceled.
Right. Well, the thing is, even when you have things like that, you still have to learn self-control. I mean, medication is assist, but it's not an end-all.
Right.
But within this book, The Facade, Dr. Heiser had, and he's been on Art Bell. It used to be Art Bell. It's Coast to Coast. His fringe realm of Christianity is not so fringe anymore. because a lot of the things that he was talking about 20, 30 years ago, now a lot of people are talking about, which is great, which includes aliens and UFOs.
Aliens in the Bible?
Oh, absolutely.
Why?
Imagine that.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh.
Reptilians. Right there in the first book.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's just... It looks like the 4th of July. Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Oh, Lord. Anyhow.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Within this book, it is a matter of different scientists being gathered together. They had different areas of expertise, and that they were taken to this government installation. Different ones of them were hidden knowledge. And as far as the where they had the UFOs, and I'm trying to remember the term right now, where they take the technology, it's reverse engineering, it's what it is. And one of the group is a priest, and the character that Heiser based, on himself was a believer, even though he was not Catholic, so it's different representations. And the reason that they had brought them was to basically prepare humanity for the, disclosure that aliens are.
Wait, what?
What part didn't you understand?
Like a little bit before that.
As far as that different faiths, because they had the Catholic priest, and that the character that Heiser had based on himself was a believer, and that they had brought them there with the other scientists, so that it was a matter of them preparing humanity for the disclosure of aliens.
Okay.
But it's a very
That's fucked up.
Intricate book, in the fact that were the aliens really aliens? Were they from another planet? He does very much have about fallen angels, and that the aliens are an excuse. They were the cover for the fallen angels, and even within that, the government. And do I need to say anything other than government? And people are already going, phew.
Ah, shit.
Because if somebody does not understand that, the sheeples.
The sheeples.
And then you've got the puppet masters.
Mm-hmm.
And even within this book, how easily people can be deceived and misled. Because when they had brought this creature in that was supposed to be a gray, his ability to heal, and everybody's like, that's fabulous. Yes. And that scripture tells us that there will be, lying signs and wonders. So that means that there will be miraculous events that are not from God. And that's kind of scary.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I will say that the book is really good. I haven't finished it, and then there is a companion book with this. The story is very good. So I would urge anyone to go ahead and read this. The Audible book, oh God, I have resentment. The narrator, he may be a very nice man, but as far as his ability to narrate this book, no.
She's still got 4 hours left.
I do. But I will weed my way through it. But it's a matter, we have to think, and we hear these things, and the aliens, and a lot of people believe as far as that they're amongst us, or that they're coming, or the interdimensional. But how many of us take the time to truly consider how we will respond when that is in front of our faces?
I mean, everybody's going to be freaking out.
And a lot of people, we think we know how we will respond to a situation, but we never really do until we're standing there in that moment.
I'm going to be like, whoa, what the fuck? Is that an alien, dude?
It's
an alien, go poke it.
When you truly have...
Go smack it with a stick, like a piñata.
Would truly have a being that is beyond our understanding, especially one that is intelligent. You don't know whether what its capabilities are, whether it's dangerous or not, because anything can say, oh, I'm not going to hurt you. Just like, I'm from the government, I'm here to help you. That's some of the most horrifying, absolutely, it's some of the most horrifying words that you'll ever hear. I think it was Ronald Reagan that said that. And to truly just take a moment and say, okay, what would I do? What do I think I would do? How would we prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally if they came on the TV or the TikToks or whatever it was with an official announcement, we've been invaded, or to sit there and go, we're going to tell you the truth now about aliens. This is, Alien X or whatever. They're our friends. Well, now, first of all, if the government is presenting anything as a friend, I'm going to question that right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But, and I think our brains, we get used to patterns and shapes and different things like that. That was a wonderful part of art, is that you can create something that has not been seen. Mm-hmm. Or has not yet been seen. And especially with the computer art and stuff, you can create your own worlds.
Yeah, absolutely you can.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah.
But when you decide to live there full time, there's a problem.
Well, there is a website called Second Life, and that is some people's second life.
But they still have to deal with the first one. The Second Life is not going to feed them, clothe them, house them. Although with some of the, Zuckerberg with some of his different proposals with the, the headset thingies? What am I trying to think about? Your brother has one of those goggle thingies.
Oculus, what is it called?
It's an alternate reality. It's
AR.
Yeah. Or it's virtual reality.
VR.
VR.
Well, it's same thing.
But,
same thing. AR and VR, same thing.
Just the few minutes that I had that thing on my face, and I'm like, I could see how somebody could get lost in this very easily.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird.
Sure, it's weird. And we don't know if there was an alien presence or presentation of aliens that it wouldn't be a similar reaction. We don't know that it wouldn't be a similar reality.
It could be.
Because right now, my God, everybody's realities are just
fucked to hell.
Yeah, and it's just like David Palmer. He had a presentation. I don't know when it was. It's been several years. That was called
David Palmer.
That was called Shattered Reality. Oh yeah, people have gotten very angry at him. Not just his style, but as far as him speaking truth. Now, not everything that he says, comes to pass. And sometimes, again, with the people wanting someone to be tailor-made for them. They want to... This is selfishness. This is kid brain. This is hedonism.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's all about me. No, it's not all about you.
I bumped the mic.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Bad.
It's about paying attention, not only to yourself, but to others. And paying attention is not just about what somebody's fickle want of the moment is.
Yeah.
So, we're in some weird times. And again, with this alien thing, when I go on these tangents, it's usually with a
good
purpose.
Reason.
Yeah, it's usually with a purpose, whether I understand it or not. And it's kind of spoopy. Mm-hmm. What would we do if they say, hey, there's these spaceships? What would we do if when we look up in the sky and we see what appears to be this huge alien ship that we can't even fathom?
Well, what would you do? What would you do?
I don't know. I mean, I like to think what I would know or would do, which would be to first of all question whether it was real or not. Mm-hmm. Is this a delusion? Is this a deception? Is this Project Bluebeam? You know, and hopefully some of the little fuckeries that we have presented, one or two people, that they may question the same thing and sit there and go, okay, is this real? Mm-hmm. Now, we know that there would be some people that would be panicking and doing horrible things, and because we saw that when War of the Worlds happened.
Yeah.
A simple radio, that was just words manipulating someone. But you add the visuals and stuff with that, and I think a lot of people that they would just mentally break.
I think so too, honestly.
So but this book, it does make you question those things. What would happen to your faith for those of you that are people of faith, which we are? I don't have a problem thinking that there's life on other planets or other dimensions or anything like that.
Oh, I love the idea.
Yeah. I don't know that this planet is not purgatory. I have spoken with people that's like, they have questioned whether or not this planet is hell. And again, that is a matter of perception. It's a matter of life experiences, what is going on in someone's microcosm.
What if it's literally all of them?
It could be. It very well could be. Yeah, it's mind-boggling when you really sit down and you think about it. So I think that this, pondering needed to occur because that was where I was led today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, what do you think you would do?
Well, obviously I would question it and I would stare at it for a while. And then if, it turned out to be, a genuine thing, I'd be like, oh, cool. And then if it didn't change anything, then I'd just go back to my regular everyday life.
I can understand that. Just it becomes an addition of something. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a lot of us. It's like, oh, okay. As long as we don't think that it's going to be harmful to ourselves or the people that we love, or, when you do have things that you find out that are causing you harm, your loved ones harm, that are totally trying to not only upend but destroy your way of life, I think most people want the same thing. They just want to live their lives and be left alone.
Yeah, that's what most people want.
Yeah.
They want to have money, live comfortably, and be left the fuck alone.
Well, the money is a matter of the stuff that you can get with the money.
Well, yeah.
So, if you want, as far as being able to travel or whatever, or, I think there's people that's more basic than that, as long as they've got food, clothing, shelter, and a sense of community. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that we're lacking very much here in the West. And what little bit we had is being taken from us. And I am thoroughly convinced that that is an alien force, and it is a demonic force that is coming against humanity right now. Yeah.
Who knows?
So, pre-winter storm ponderings. And I think this one was more serious than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Some of them get pretty deep, and this one, we didn't have to have the citations and stuff today.
No, because we were just bitching.
Well, it's not a matter of bitching. I understand what you're saying. But it is a matter of sitting and thinking. Mm-hmm. And thinking deeply, which goes back to the difficulty that kids your age and younger, you all are losing the ability to think deeply. Jordan Peterson has
losing the ability. It's the fact that we haven't developed it yet.
But if you're constantly distracted, how can you develop it?
Exactly.
And if you're addicted to the distraction, now that's where you need a little bit of intervention, seriously. And that's where when somebody tells you, somebody that's older or whatever, it's, hey, let's go do this. Let's go. And leave that damn thing at the house. You know, if it's some kind of game or anything like that, be in the moment. Because that's what we have. We have moments. And that digital shit, you know, so what if it gets canceled the next day? If you've got family members that you love and time is going by quickly and quickly and they're not there, are you really going to sit there and go, wow, I wish I had played 5 more minutes of whatever type it is? Or are you going to sit there and go, wow, I wish I had 5 more minutes to talk to somebody and tell them that I love them? That's reality.
I would choose, like, you know, because online friends, whether you want to accept it or not, they are real friends.
I
You
understand.
may not be there physically, but they are real friends.
Oh, I understand that, because that's just like the people that we share these with. I love them dearly. Mm-hmm. And it's like some of them that are within, if I had the means to travel and see them, I certainly would.
So either way, I'm going to pick, damn, I wish I had 5 more minutes to be online with my friends, along with another 5 more minutes with my family.
You gesticulated in front of the camera, you know that, right?
Hello.
I'm not talking about online friends. I'm talking about these gamings and doing different things like that.
I could live without that perfectly fine.
Or watching one more TikTok or, you know,
Well, I mean, it's
cat
gonna be-
video or
life
what
is gonna
have
be-
you.
Life is going to be a little bit, like, boring without the, you know, other people creating content and such like that, like watching TV or whatever.
There were thousands of years that occurred before any of that stuff did.
And do you think people did not get bored?
They made their own amusement. It was not a matter of sitting there going, here I am, amuse me, unless you were the king.
You know why they were, like...
They worked.
You know why they were bored? Or when they were bored, they were like, you know what, I'm going to do something to amuse me. Because they were bored.
Oh, no. No, they were too busy struggling to survive, to be bored.
You cannot tell me they did not have one day at least to fucking rest and be like, I'm bored. What can I do?
I mean, for the most part, especially unless you were the elite, it was a matter of working sun up to sundown. Now, winter was more a time of rest because they couldn't get out and do that. And if they had planned properly, then winter, you know, it wasn't a matter of having to go out in the middle of a snowstorm, cut down a tree to get the firewood to build a fire and keep yourself from freezing to death, which that did happen.
And you cannot tell me they still did not get bored at least one day.
Rarely, I'd say. But they had music, they had songs, they told ghost stories.
To keep themselves from being bored, too.
That is as far as storytelling. And that is still a very important function. But it was the family would sit and listen to the stories. Or the community would listen to the stories. And we have a lot of people talking these days, but not many listening. Yeah. Losing the ability to read. There have been studies that, because reading is not an innate skill. That means that language is an innate skill that people, you know, even if they're isolated from the rest of society, they will form a language, the pidgin languages and stuff. But reading is not the same. And that people are losing this. I'm not making this up. That's been known for years. Like I said, find your own resources today. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Because if you can't read things for yourself, then you have to take somebody else's word for whatever. That didn't work so well. So anyhow, ponder
I'm
great
seeing
ponderings.
Is the camera in focus? I can't tell.
It is. It is.
Okay.
Ponder great ponderings today. Think about, and you know, in the comments below, what would you do? What do you think that you would do if if it's standing there in front of you, if the alien is standing there in front of you, as far as the spaceships, as far as the announcement, And these people that have had abduction stories, they have had to face this. And that's the reason we take these seriously, because that is a very traumatic thing for most people. And it's like, God help them. So that's the pondering for a winter's day.
Yeah.
If you've had experiences with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, what have you, local, regional, family, myths, legends, all that good stuff, send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And if you don't want to share your comment or whatever publicly, that's okay. You can send me an email.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. So, and hopefully, barring unforeseen, this is why I always have to say, barring unforeseen.
No matter what we do.
Leave it alone. Don't touch the microphone. Don't touch it. Just leave it. Oh.
It's not like I mean to touch it except for right there.
Anyhow, and barring unforeseen, we will have other cups prepared.
Barring unforeseen, she'll spare my life.
Absolutely. I always like to have that option. So
Spare me, please.
you all have a beautiful, blessed day. Stay safe. Keep thinking. Keep reading. Keep questioning. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, comment, the most of all, subscribe, and click that little notification bell. Damn it. Bye.
Bye.